Coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts, we're getting ready for Western Art Week with the 10th anniversary show of the celebration of Native Plains artists. We'll give you the breakdown of everything you can expect, including a fashion show that's coming up.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth.
And we're No Damn Experts. I feel like that was rusty, but it does not matter.
I think it'll sound fine.
Okay.
I mean, as good as any other intro we've ever done.
Sound like I've never done that before in my life. So I'm pretty stoked because the person that is in the room today that you have coordinated, I've known for a long time.
Which I just learned.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about something that they've been a part of for over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they tell us a little bit about their history here in Great Falls, which I think is also a pretty cool story with the businesses they're involved in. So,
I think you're on a roll. I think you may as well just
No,
go
you
for
do it.
Oh, you? Okay.
Who's here with us today, Shannon?
Leah is here. Yay.
So welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know you're a first-time guest, long-time listener. That's a joke.
That's an assumption.
So to get everybody excited about you, tell us your story. Are you a Great Falls gal? How long you been in the Great Falls area? What keeps you busy when you're not working on the 10th year of the celebration of Native Plains artists that'll happen during Western Art Week? Floor is yours.
And I also did a bad job. I only said your first name, so feel free to
Okay.
fully introduce yourself.
or don't, because then people will stalk you.
Well, yeah. No, Leah Noel Benski, and just recently got married. Actually, our third anniversary was on the 22nd of February. We've been together for 16 years, so we finally said,
Maybe let's
make it official.
we probably should. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
We were engaged, and then Joe was out on a tow and broke his ankle, so we had to cancel our reservations to get married.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't have to break your ankle just to get out of getting married to me. I mean,
It's all right. Just say it's not my thing.
I guess
not
he
my
stuck
thing.
around, right? Yeah.
He had no choice. So I was not originally born in Great Falls. I was born in California, but my family is from Montana. My parents met at school in Bozeman.
Ooh.
And my mom's side of the family has long history, probably why I'm so interested in the art piece of Montana. My great-great-grandfather homesteaded in the Big Hole. His wife founded Wisdom, Montana. Their son relocated up to the High Line up in the Turner area, and their son surveyed the Bear Paw battlefield. There's a monument to him there, so we've got a lot of Montana history.
A lot of deep connections.
Yeah,
those are big pieces of history.
They are. So I'm kind of a Montana girl, really, in my blood.
More so than anyone. It sounds like.
Actually, my great-great-grandfather wrote what is considered the first autobiography of Montana.
Oh my goodness.
The story of Ajax. Yeah.
Huh.
So it's kind of fun. I didn't think that was very interesting when I was in high school.
It's amazing what we fail to recognize as a really cool things when we're younger.
I know. My teacher was like, "This is amazing," and I was like, "Have you read this book? This is horrible." And I read it when I was older, and I went, "This is really cool." So there's a lot of history. Yeah. So.
We had a guest send us an email that said, until we listened to your episode on the C.M. Russell Museum, we had always just told my mom to shut up because we didn't want her telling us all the time that we should go see the C.M. Russell Museum. But then we listened to your podcast episode, and now we apologize to our mom because clearly it's a really cool place to go. And we're like, duh.
Yeah. Your perspective definitely changes when you realize how valuable those little pieces of your life are. So.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dig a little deeper. You and Joe own really cool businesses here in town. feel free to give a shout out, because as
Yeah.
travelers are coming through, you
Yeah.
are kind of one of those services that people really use sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly. We own Benski Towing and Recovery. We've been in business, oh my goodness. Yeah, 11 years. It's going on
Wow.
11
Okay.
years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we worked with you in the very beginning of this whole thing. Yeah,
like
trying to
okay,
get
like
started.
personally, or
Yeah, I had them tow
like you
all
were
of my vehicles.
like you were her first toe. Yeah.
No, we had really great conversations about business and getting things off the ground and that kind of
Cool.
stuff. So
Good deal.
Yeah, and then we, when we moved back from California, it started our business, and then in 2018, we were working in Westgate Repair, which used to be Westgate Exxon, which was over where the AutoZone is over there. And Lauren, who owned Westgate, indicated that he was kind of ready to retire, but not completely. And so we purchased Westgate, which is interesting because Joe and his twin brother started working. Their first job was at Westgate when they were 15
Full
years
circle
old.
moment.
So
My goodness.
yeah, and Joe's twin brother moved back to Great Falls and is working with us now. So both
that
the
is
Benski
really
boys,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Benski boys are back. So Joe and Jim and his wife are here, and so. Yeah, we
That's
we
really
have
neat.
these two businesses. It's kind of fun because, you know, a lot of times when we tow people, their vehicle needs to be worked on, and so it's like, well, you know,
We have something for that.
something for that. So it works out kind of good.
yeah.
Yeah. And then last year in April, we purchased Triple Truck Repair, which is a tractor trailer repair shop. So eventually we're going to locate all the businesses in one place, but that's not going to happen for a while. But
Hey,
Wow.
take your time.
Yeah.
Just as long as you continue to start businesses and buy businesses,
yeah,
I'm happy.
I'm not quite sure what else I need to do. My brother would like to do a restaurant, but I don't think that's going to happen.
That's a much different venture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So then you've got all this going on in your day life, and you're like,
Right.
I'm not busy enough.
Mhm.
I
Let me
want
put
to
on
be
an
a
art
part
show.
of the celebration of Native Plains Artists Show during Western Art Week. Now, granted, I'm going to say it this way. It's just 1 week out of the year that this happens. But you, if I'm not mistaken, were part of the formation of this. So
This actually grew out of an event that was started by Eloise Cobell up in East Glacier, and it was called the Harvest Moon Ball. And she wanted to bring people, a lot of the benefactors of her efforts from around the country to Montana to see a lot of the Native artists. And it just became logistically challenging after Eloise passed away to continue to have that show up in East Glacier. It's, travel in Montana, not easy. And if you have people coming from, South America, New York, whatever, they were having a hard time getting in and out. So Angie had this brilliant idea. She said, we should do Western Art Week because the C.M. Russell Museum and really all of the things that Charlie Russell was focused on, really his adoration of the Native American people and their culture is so pronounced in his work. So I called Chuck Fulcher and said, hey, what do you think about this? And he was thrilled and super excited and very accommodating. So we had our first show 10 years ago with 9 Native American artists, and it's grown to over 30 over the years. This year we won't have quite as many artists because we're having a fashion show in our area. Significantly
limiting
was
the booths.
reduced, but it's going to be a huge show. We're really excited about it. So that's kind of where that all started.
One of the things we've not talked about on this podcast ever is a little bit of Eloise's work. She's really an icon for, I would say, anyone in Montana, and I think we all know who she is. But can you just give us a brief highlight of how amazing this woman was and what her
Eloise
legacy
was a powerhouse. She was so committed to enhancing the lives of Native Americans, not just in Browning and on the Blackfeet Reservation, but throughout the United States, and recognizing the injustices with the way that the treaty rights were not adhered to and the mismanagement of the money. She took a stand and said, this is not right, and you're not going to do this to my people. And her valiant efforts enabled them to recoup a pretty substantial portion of the money that they weren't awarded in the first place, and they didn't continue. It's a continuous effort Unfortunately, she had cancer and passed away. But Angie Main, who was the executive director, Eloise handpicked her to take over her position. And I had worked with Angie previously on a poverty reduction grant from the Northwest Area Foundation called the Community Ventures Coalition. That was way back when. That was probably in 2003, maybe. And that's how we started working together. And then when she started working with Eloise, she asked me if I would come to work with her. And so we've been working together for over 20 years. So it's been amazing.
I just love your history of all these different things that you've gotten to be a part of in so many different ways that, you know, people are so deep and scattered.
Yeah, and I'm really heavily involved in animal rescue as well. I'm on the board of the McLean Center. Volunteer with the Pet Posse. My brother and I cook for the Spaghetti Dinner, which raises funds for the Humane Society and their spay and neuter clinics. And
okay, I have to ask questions because this is right. I love me some rescue animals. Do you have any yourself? Have you adopted any yourself?
Okay. I do. When we were in San Diego, I was a part of the Coastal German Shepherd Rescue and rescued a German Shepherd. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago. But since then, I have been blessed with six rescue cats. So right now, I have kitties. But we work a lot with folks that are looking for their new forever friends and really encourage people to look at the rescues that are available. Getting ready for Cinco de Meow Meow, which was coming up in May at Providence.
Amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing. We have 2 rescue dogs, and they're the best ever. Love
their
rescue
cool.
animals. Yes.
Okay. So back on Western Art Week, I've always said this, like it's the hardest thing to be able to describe to someone who's never been there. So it's like, come to this week, this 5-day art event and you're going to have fun. And people often look at me and they're like, nope, I'm pretty sure it's not fun going to what they think sounds like a museum for 5 days. And it's nothing like that. How would have you gotten to do all of Western Art Week being a show coordinator? Because I would assume you're devoted to that. Tell me about kind of the highlight moments of the last 9 years of the show that you're like, this epitomizes why this is not just a museum showcase.
It's so interactive. It's great at our show and all the rest of the shows. You really get to interact with the artists. You get to talk to them. You can talk to them about their inspirations. You can relay to them what their work does for you. What makes it so attractive. And there's just such a story everywhere. And whatever you want to find, whatever you want to purchase, whatever your art style is, you're going to find it here. There is nothing you're not going to find. Furniture, jewelry, clothing, paintings, sculptures, shoes, whatever. It's just mind-boggling to see.
And then the art itself is not, we're talking about different types of mediums for that art. But the art itself is varied. You can have horses and people and abstracts and especially when it comes to the clothing. We're not just talking about fringe jackets.
Right.
We're talking a massive amount of variety. Who, if you can, are some of the top artists that come to mind where you're like, I really like their work and it's inspiring to me?
Every single person that's in our show.
Good answer.
Yeah. We were really fortunate when we first started doing the show. Some of the people that were with us, Daryl Norman, who has unfortunately passed away, David Dragonfly, who also passed away. I can't remember. There was another gentleman, and I can't think of his name right now. But they were instrumental in the Native Art Show way back when the Great Falls Ad Club was kind of coordinating this whole thing. There was a show at the Civic Center, and they were the ones that really put that whole thing together. So they are so inspiring. And you really have to bless them for their vision to really expose people to Native American culture and artwork. And there's just so much behind it. We are lucky that we also work with Dugan Coburn and the Missouri River Dance Company and the drummers, and of course this year with the fashion designers. People have, for so many times, well, they've never seen a powwow, they've never seen traditional Native dance. And I had this lady, I think it was the first year that we did the show, we had a huge number of dancers from the little tiny tots all the way to the adults. And this woman was standing close to me, and she had tears in her eyes. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And she says, she was from New York, and she said, "I would never have the opportunity to see this, and this just has blessed me so much to see something so beautiful and such a beautiful expression of this culture." And it's just like, this is why we do this.
Yeah.
You know, we want people to realize there is such a story to be told in Native American culture, and it supports you as well. So.
Well, the history is just so much older than what we as a state or as a nation have. And it is such an astounding thing that is right as where we stand, you know, in traditional Blackfeet land, where the Little Shell are home to now. It's just, there's so much that nobody can understand until they see some of these things. I remember one year there was a great teepee display as part. It wasn't for sale. Actually, I didn't ask. I would assume it wasn't for sale as part of the show. But being able to see some of those things that help shape what the art looks like today is so dang cool.
TP will be back, definitely.
Oh.
You know, the
But you
backrest,
can't
the
buy it.
buffalo. No, it can't be bought. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just that, you know, the backrest and the buffalo robes and some of the other things that were part of Native culture before non-natives ever came across them. And there's a story to be told. And you know, that's one of the things that all of these people, these artists, are so willing to share. You know, they want you to understand what this means and what has inspired them in their creation. So.
I would love to hear more about this fashion show, what we can expect to see
So
in
excited.
it, what's involved in it, when it is, all of the things.
The fashion show will be on Saturday at 2:00 from 2 to 3:30. We'll do an opening prayer with Dugan and the Missouri River Dance Company, and we'll have some of the traditional dancers and drummers. And then we are going to have 7 amazing designers, some of which have been to Paris Fashion Week. You know, they have all different expression, beading, and, you know, some traditional dress with elk tooths. And they're just, it's beautiful. And you really see the culture and the color and their tradition come through in their designs. And I brought, you know, some pictures of some of the gals. Some of the artists that are also designers are in the art show as well. So that's
there
really
will
cool.
be an opportunity to purchase.
Yep, absolutely.
That's cool. One of the neatest things that I think I got to see at the I was going to say history, and that's not correct. The tourism conference last year in Missoula is there was a Native American fashion show as part of the kickoff to a dinner. And it showcased, I think, just one artist's ability. And I just think anybody who can sew and put things together and they fit on somebody's body is pretty impressive. But to see the cultural impact to what was being created was even more impressive, to be able to see someone just doing that as an expression of their art. And I've always said it's not just about being able to paint on a piece of canvas or mold something. It's all aspects: jewelry or earrings, rings, necklaces, skirts, dresses, coats, socks, the whole thing. And the fact that you get to be a part of a fashion show like a really cool person.
I know. It's really fun.
I want Della's outfit.
That's beautiful.
I don't think you can just take their outfits, Shannon. I think that's their clothes.
I'm just saying
If that's something, I love that.
Yeah.
I want that
It
design.
is. It's a great picture,
I want to
too.
take that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What are you, besides the fashion show, what are you looking forward to most at the Celebration of Native Plains Artists show? particular artist that we want to call out to pay attention to, look at, see their artwork? I know you like them all, but is there one that you're like, their work is coming along and it's really interesting and it really epitomizes, check them out because you'll get a sense of what's happening?
I couldn't pick anyone out in particular just because
Good
they're
job.
all so diverse and amazing. We have a couple new artists this year that haven't been with us. Della Big Hair Stump and Carrie Moran McClary, of course, they're designers.
I'm going to have to
and
stop by and
Danette
meet Della.
Standing, we have a new gal. She's from over in the Poplar area. Tanya Lujan is from Canada, and she wanted to come a couple years ago, but I think COVID happened or something happened. I can't remember. Ben Pease, we haven't had Ben Pease before, and Veronica Kempfert, she's an amazing artist from Browning, is going to be here too. So Terrence Gardepie and Catherine Blackhorse will be here. And so
Terrence has been there before. I think I remember seeing him.
He was, and then he was in the same building, but he was just in a different show. I think he was in either the Best of the West or the Legends show before.
Got him back.
So we got him back. Yeah, you guys, come on! It's the 10th anniversary. They're doing shows all over the place, so it was good to have them back. But excited to have some people, Louis and Leona Antoine, who actually work with NACDC Financial Services. They're going to be here this year, so they're a new one. And AJ Butler, who's from up on the High Line, he's new for us too. So Linda Pease came back. Carlin Bear Don't Walk, he was with us before, but he came back now too. So we were lucky that we were able to get some of the folks who were with us in the beginning of the show to come back for this 10th anniversary.
That's pretty awesome. A lot of names. Did we miss any artists that are going to be a part of the show that you didn't say? That'll get people excited.
Louis and Gina Still Smoking, who are just incredible. Ben's mom, Linda, is here. Lindy Racine and Robert Martinez, they are amazing artists. Jay Young Running Crane. Sammy Bird, who is also a designer. She's amazing. And Lyle Omisu is incredible, and we're really excited for him. He's been with us since the very beginning. Jennifer White, she is from South Dakota. And, of course, Edmund and Sonia Albert, who's just incredible. I remember the first time a friend of mine told me about him. Hey, there's this artist that I think is really amazing, and you might like him and like their work. And so I gave him a call, went over to their house, and I walked in and saw some of his work. And, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. It was so incredible. And I was just like, you have to be a part of our show. So, yeah.
So do you recruit the artists or does somebody else do that?
I knew several of the artists from when we did the Harvest Moon Ball, but it really has been word of mouth. We've actually had several people that have reached out to us, and there was a couple that we weren't able to give space to this year, but we'll be able to have more space next year. So it really has kind of taken off, and people realize that we are really committed to showcasing. It's an Indigenous show, and it's Native American, so we exclusively expose Native American artists and crafters. So
I'm so happy that you guys do that.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, we can say this is, if you want to see true, authentic Native American art, you're coming here. So,
yeah.
I know you've been with it since the beginning. Did we say how you got involved with it?
Just from the Harvest Moon Ball. Yeah.
So
and
we're connected with
Angie.
that. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, we told that story.
Okay.
And one of the things that we do with NACDC Financial Services is we've done some training and technical assistance for artists and provide some funding for them so that they're able to start their business. We've been lucky that over the years there's been several brand new artists that start, and we're able to give them that opportunity. That's one of the things that's so important to our director Angie is we don't want this to be cost prohibitive. Sometimes when you're in part of an art show, the amount of money that you have to get for your booth and for registration, and you have to pay part of the commissions and everything, and we're not doing that. Angie's just like, we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity, whether they're a seasoned artist or whether they're just fresh out of the gate trying to start their career.
Well, and I think no matter what, here I am pontificating like I'm an expert, which I'm not clearly, which is the name of the podcast. But I think it's tough for artists at any stage to really be comfortable with some of the price points that they should be placing on their art, and they don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they undervalue the work or the expertise or the talents. And I think that's an important component. And that's what I think is really cool about the partnership with NADC.
NACDC.
Thank you. In that component of making sure that they're prepared to run it as a business
Mm-hmm.
instead of, just something that hopefully pays the
Mm.
light bill one day,
Yeah.
that it becomes a way that they can earn a living on
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Recognizing the value in their work, and then also recognizing that you need to treat this as a business. And the training programs that we provide, and some of the artists that we have in the show have been through this training program, and it really starts from the very beginning, which you recognize certainly in the business world. You've got to have all the tools in your tool chest to make sure that you're able to continue and sustain yourself and not price yourself out of the market, but
Hmm.
not underprice yourself so that it's not even going to be viable for you. So it's important to be able to do that. And we love the fact that our seasoned artists, that the really successful artists, they love when we have new artists come into the show because they mentor them and they
Mm.
build these amazing friendships.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you see that? Because this show is at the Montana Expo Park inside the Pacific Steel and Recycling Arena. And there's also 3 other shows happening at that time in that same space. Do you see other artists from the other shows also helping to mentor each other
Mm-hmm.
as a collective group?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Everybody, they're just all really friendly. And when they have the opportunity to kind of go wander around and visit with the other artists, there's usually something that really piques their interest. It's like, oh wow. And I've never seen any of the artists in this show, and there's going to be a lot more this year, ever shy away from really having a conversation with new and probably inexperienced artists. They really like to share.
I was fortunate enough to watch 2 artists have a conversation about technique one time. Like,
Oh.
how are you doing this? And how can you do that? And they're like just sharing what would technically be trade secrets,
Mhm.
but they're just talking about like, yeah, this is what I was trying and this is what I learned and this is how and like they're just constantly perfecting their craft. And I was like, this is so neat to just watch. And I'm just standing there like a weirdo. They're like, can we help you? I'm like, no, I'm good. Just keep going.
Continue.
I'll just take a seat here and watch you guys talk because this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, they will help you set up your booth. They will help you with tips to promote your stuff. Lighting, setting up pro panels, setting up whatever. They're always willing to help, or they see somebody needs some help, they'll run right over. It's just a real collective, positive energy that comes from the show. Well, all of the artists, they're all really amazing. When we have time to go wander, it's just so cool. And shop. Actually, that's the big thing, is go shopping.
So you alluded to it. I want to hold your feet to the fire on this one. There is going to be Native American dancing and there is going to be Native American drumming, and that's all kind of kicking off the fashion show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, that makes my heart happy.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Mhm.
It'll be really amazing. I'm really excited about it. So
Okay. So folks, if you did not pay attention, now's the time to grab your piece of paper and your pen and write down Saturday, March 22nd.
September. Whoa.
Sorry.
Where'd that
oh no.
Saturday,
Don't go that
March
quick.
22nd at 2 o'clock, Montana Expo Park, Four Seasons Arena at the Celebration of Native Plains Artists show. You're going to get all of that and a fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
And
For free.
For free.
To
For
enter.
free.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I'm going to make a shameless plug for is we have on our website, westernartweek.com, the ultimate Western Art Week itinerary. I will caveat this with saying there's very little time to eat
Or sleep.
on this agenda, but I'm making sure that you squeeze out every ounce.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much of Western Art Week that is free, but one of the cool things we tried this year to give you a little bit more structure, because people seem to get really scared when there's no, where am I supposed to be and what's my ticket? Well, there's none of that. Just show up. But we are offering a VIP ticket this year,
Oh, wow.
which Chuck has told me gets VIP front row seating, or special reserved seating, I should say, for VIP ticket holders to the fashion show.
Ooh, and you want a front row seat for that.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
I think that's just worth
That's super cool.
touting whatever flaunting thing you want to do with that.
Yeah.
Being able to slip in right at, 158 and you know
Right to
you've
your
got a
front
seat.
row seat.
I think it's worth it. WesternArtWeek.com. There are 13 other shows happening, 12 other shows happening in Great Falls at that time. Multiples under the roof at Pacific Steel and Recycling. There's an antique and gun show happening next door at the exhibition hall. There's so much going on that you will be tired and you will be hungry because there's just no time to eat.
To stop.
Now, with that, is there concessions during? There's not concessions.
At the Expo
Park,
yeah,
there
they've
is.
got it. Yeah, they have concessions.
I thought
there.
I remember seeing that. I've never.
Yeah, I thought they had it open last year.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of myself.
Yeah, you can get burgers and things like that.
That's
Just
good.
that. They do have some bars throughout the venue. So if you are looking to have a cocktail when
There you
you sit
go.
with the fashion show, you can certainly
Oh.
do that as well. So
Sounds delightful.
I don't know if there's a better time to
I
be
was like,
had.
that is where you will find Rebecca. Front row with the cocktail.
I will be kind and loving and all that fun stuff.
What when you see people who have maybe never been to Western Art Week or never seen your show, I imagine it's got to be fun watching people's reaction or watching their interactions with the artists. What do you see? How do you see people reacting or taking in all the art and the conversation with artists at your show?
I've heard a lot of, I wish I had more money.
Yeah.
They're just being, for us, like I referenced previously about the lady who had never seen any traditional dancers and drummers, and the storytelling that comes along with it. We had Jack Gladstone a couple years ago, which was amazing. But they've never had an opportunity to witness anything like it before. And that really blesses you to know that you've made a significant impression on somebody's life, and seeing something that they would not normally have an opportunity to see and share and speak to these people, and they're so willing to tell their story and talk about their culture and what it means. So that just it's something that you're not going to get anywhere else. And we're really fortunate. We live in Montana. Look at the culture and the tradition we have all around us. It's just it really strengthens us as a state, as a people as well. So
Would you agree that even there's really two types of people that show up at Western Art Week? People who really like art, are art collectors, understand price per square inch and all the things. And then you got people who are like, that's just really cool. I want to own that. And you may end up with a really eclectic collection of art because you just think that's really cool. You want to put it in your house.
Rebecca and I both fall in that second category.
I have a room that has nothing but art that I've gotten over the years at the show. So it's just, it never stops.
I have to share, my husband has been like an elk guy. He's been, all of our art for so long was elk. And so then he fell in love with this Helena Cathedral painting that now hangs on our wall. And then he fell in love with I had never seen this happen in my life. A Native American woman standing in a field of lupines. He goes, I really like that. And it's a watercolor. And he goes, I really love that. I'm like, you've never been attracted to people images before. Like, really? And he goes, I don't know what it is. I love her.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay, maybe we're gonna leave her here because you said you love her, not the painting.
He just fell in love with the woman in the photo.
But
and
to
the painting.
think someone, both of us, not connoisseurs of any sort, just emotionally get connected to a piece. He wanted to take her home. I felt that was the inappropriate response to how beautiful that piece of artwork was, so we left her there because I wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do with her once he got her home, but beautiful pieces. And it's amazing to me to watch that evolution of people go from, I'm an elk guy, to, I love this Indian maiden in a field. Like, that's what's being depicted, and that's what I want in our home. And I'm thinking, that's so cool to watch. So you don't have to be a connoisseur. You just have to like pretty things.
And it art touches you, and that's your connection. And my husband is just like, oh my God, this is coming up. I mean, I have a room, because we just moved into a new house, and I have a room that has art all the way around, and I don't even know where it's going to go yet. But I've already started my purchasing this year. So, and it's all different. There's just something about a piece that will touch you, and it may be completely different. When I was in school, I was George O'Keeffe. I love George O'Keeffe, George O'Keeffe. And, your style changes, and what reaches out to you and really, tugs at your heartstrings changes. And you have the opportunity to have anything. If you don't go to the shows at the Expo Park and find something that really touches you, I would say, what's going on?
Right.
Are your eyes open? I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, and I think the other thing that's important is it's okay. Like, if it doesn't fit with your current theme, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Still buy it, because it's connecting to you in some way. And that's the important part, is just do that. The one thing I'll tell my last tale on myself. I was at the show a couple years ago, and there was this beautiful, huge buffalo painting. And I looked at that, and it's like, I'm like, I love that. I love that. I love that. And I didn't even get into the booth. I was just stopped in my tracks in the little walkway, and I'm just staring at it. And the artist is, kind of not paying much attention to me, because I have not entered the space. And then I catch his eye for some reason, because I'm standing there like a weirdo, and he comes up to me, and he just looks at me, and he goes, "We have prints." And I'm like, oh, that's
Sold.
helpful.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at, and it's an original piece, and I just could not believe how stunning it was, and just what a focal point and mesmerizing it was. And for him to just go, "We have prints." I'm like,
observing what's happening in you. And
thank you. Like, because there's just some art, that it's not in my tax bracket right now.
Right.
And that's fine. And he recognized what was going on in my head. I'm like, oh my God, that's just stunning. And he's like, you can still take this home in another method and enjoy it, which I appreciate so much, because then that builds that connection to the artist. It builds the connection to art. And even though you may be starting with a $5 Ansel Adams plastic framed print from, Walmart, eventually you're going to get pieces where you're going to be proud to go, oh, yes, let me tell you about this artist, and let me tell you about these things. And then there's stories that you can tell as you keep going. So thank you to the gentleman who told me there were prints.
And that's good for people to remember, too. There's something for all budgets and ranges available.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with us.
Well, thank you guys so much for
got
showcasing this amazing 10th anniversary show that we're having. We're so proud of all of our artists and what they do, and supporting them, and they're supporting our economy. And this is, this is just amazing. This is going to be a great show this year across the board. Western Art Week, I think, is just going to be something like we haven't seen before.
I'm pretty excited about it. Not to brag, but I'm going to First Strike.
Are you?
Oh, wow.
My first time.
Fun.
It's my first time doing a Russell event.
Yeah.
Because they're, as you heard on the other episode, the Russell show is one that is notoriously ticketed. That one is one that is not free, but it's like one of all of them that is not free.
Right.
So I'm like, I would just like to experience what that is. So I got a ticket.
Good for you.
And you actually get to be here for Western Art Week
Yeah,
this year.
which is the first time ever, really, for a long time, I should say. But I did talk, and Sally was like, so how many paddles do you need? I'm like, oh, maybe none. Maybe none. She's like, oh, you're getting a paddle. I'm like, okay.
That's dangerous. Yes.
Yeah, actually, some of our artists are in the show as well. So Robert Martinez and Linda Pease are
Mm-hmm.
in the Russell too. So
Exciting.
that is
So
really
awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't have plans already, you're silly.
Mm-hmm.
Go to westernartweek.com, check out my itinerary, figure out what's next to pack because you're going to need them, and get to Great Falls March 19th through the 23rd of this year. Full day of fun and activities across 13 shows. Let's go with 10 different venues. It's a blast. The amount of art you're going to see, the variety of art, unlike anything else in the world. That's why we're the Western art capital of the world.
That's right.
Absolutely. It's wonderful.
And so stop by for sure at 2 p.m. Saturday with your VIP ticket. Flaunt in, snag a seat, and have a blast. It's going to be an amazing year again here in Great Falls. Can't wait to see you. And until we do see your bright, smiling, happy face here in our fair, fair city, we hope you are creating amazing memories wherever you might be with your friends and family. We'll see you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.